my God. They all right?
He's okay. They loaded the bike on the truck. My name is John Powell. I am the incoming post commander. I'm also the past post commander, and I'm the past department commander as well. A brief history of Post 1 is Post 1 is the oldest post in the United States. There's some conjecture on that, and between us and another post, if somebody can prove to me that theirs is older, then I'll relinquish the throne. Wheeling had a very nice post in downtown Wheeling. And after 2001, the federal government decided to build a new federal courthouse next to the post office. That was our building, so they tore the building down. And then what was a very stable post then became unstable, and they lost the building. Then a bad business decision was made, and they bought another building. A restaurant in downtown Wheeling, thinking it would be a restaurant and they'd make money. And nobody knew how to run a restaurant. Unfortunately, I had to make the decision at one point in time to close that and sell that property. This was called the Italian American Club, and they supported the organization by renting this building to other organizations for weddings and steak fries and other fundraising events. 5 or 6 years ago, we rented the building, and we started having casual conversations at that time, and they told us, we said, look, if we ever sell the building, we wanted to go to an organization that would follow in our footsteps and continue to rent it to people for fundraising events. We got into hard negotiations. We actually came to an agreement on the sale of the building. I was heavily involved in making this happen, and we ended up buying the building. 2 acres, zoned residential on the water. This building is not in the flood zone. It's a solid building. The building is a rental facility, and that's how we choose to operate. Legions are known for one thing. They're a neighborhood bar. That's why young veterans don't want to join, because they're not interested in a bar or more interested in family events. And if you look outside, what's right next to us? Playgrounds, baseball. There's not another building in this area that screams children and youth more than this building. So instead of raising money by running a canteen, we're raising money by we rent the facility up.
Specifically about this place I like is that there's not a bar. We're here to just serve and just help out with funerals, Memorial Day ceremonies, 4th of July ceremonies, stuff like that. Whatever we can do to give back.
American Legion does so much for the veterans. We need the younger generations to come in and take part.
When we bought the facility, it looks pretty good until you pull back the layers. We called contractors in, we pulled out what we did. The contractors saw things that we didn't see. With the purchase of the building and the renovations, they're going to run about $425,000. Between the walls and the outside brick, there's only about 1 inch of blue foam insulation. There's no insulations in the roof either. So the building remains uninsulated, so the heating costs are killing us. The windows you see are fogged over. They're not insulated. Nothing's been updated. The ceiling tiles have become 2x2 ceiling tiles. A complete state-of-the-art sound and audio system in here can be used for corporations for training. That's our rental value. We could seat probably 400. 6 inches of spray foam throughout the building. Those walls will be insulated. The lighting will be LED lighting around the walls that can be dimmed and hopefully color changing. I'd like them to change color so we can set the mood in the building. And then it'll be a circle of LED candle lights around here, because this is where a band or DJ and a dance floor typically is. The flooring, this will come up and it'll be a poured acrylic floor. The storeroom. This room will be built out, and this will become the historical room. This will become a meeting room, a counseling room for veterans. This is our new sign that goes up on the front of the building that we've yet to put up yet. But you'll notice it says the American Legion family, because you have the American Legion, the Auxiliary, the Sons, and the American Legion Riders. As a post commander, I believe we should work together as a family. So if you're going to sell family unity, you need to act as a family and be inclusive of everybody.
We tried to do things together between the post and the auxiliary. The post and the auxiliary meet on the same night. I like it that we're together as a family.
Historically, the auxiliary and the Legion doesn't get along. Some of the older Legion members still have the, men and women. We have to get past that. That should have been gone years ago. We have a female who's been a national commander. We've had a female who's been a post commander. We've had a female who's been a department commander. I ever catch a whiff of any of that, I shut it down. The kitchen had tile in it, and the water got underneath the tile, was just breaking up the tile. So we took all the tile up and put a fresh coat of paint in here. But again, this will be the acrylic floor. We'll probably update the stove. The stove still works. It's a beast from the 50s, but everything still works. So there's really no reason to get rid of it. If anybody rents this facility to serve food, they tie up tables. So one of the plans calls to construct a horseshoe bar in front of this. Not as a bar to drink, but more of a serving center. So you have permanent tables. This is the steak fry pit. This is where people build steak fries. The construction plans call to update this. Panhandle Cleaning Restorations does fire restoration, so they're gonna get the soot out of this. Cover this in so it forces the smoke up the chimney and not up into the rafters.
Yeah.
This whole section gets covered in and puts a roof over it. So this becomes a huge
Patio.
closed-in patio
Yep.
with lighting that goes outside. This old lean-to down here, we're going to make that an outdoor wedding chapel.
Oh, isn't that cute?
If you're looking to get married, I have an outdoor chapel, I have chairs. We're gonna get the parking lot paved. A lot of renovations. There's so many endless possibilities that you could do with this building.
How are you guys getting money for all this?
Well, we're in negotiations right now with a gentleman who has some interest in negotiating a large sum of money, you know?
But you guys could use donations, right?
Yes,
From
if he-
everybody, but anybody else.
You know, we have, right now we have $150,000 in the bank. And we have other donors coming forward. I've never been one to ask for money or beg for money. When I walked out of the meeting, they said and the number was 425. I was sick at my stomach. I wanted to throw up. There's a lot of history, and this building screams children and youth, and to serve the community. That's what we want to do, is serve the community. We want to serve the youth and build a relationship.
We have the 4 pillars, community, children, and I think each Legion does some small part among the 4 pillars. We do a lot for Helping Heroes that helps out with homeless veterans. And so just about 80% of our projects that we do benefit the Helping Heroes.
When we do events, we try to do a quarter auction. We're talking about doing wrestling. We're going to do a fundraiser with that.
We had a comedy night.
We're talking about doing like a paint and sip. We'll see.
These are popular right now.
I'm gonna try to blow my own horn, but yes, I started this ride. I said, we're coming out of COVID. It's time to get out, to wake up our veterans, to join the American Legion, and for people to join the Riders. The Riders is an outreach program. It's not a biker gang, it's veterans who enjoy riding bikes. It's reaching those veterans who ride bikes and reach out and say, listen, are you okay?
When you're away from home, you only have each other. You make that bond. And so I think you just kind of keep that. It's just a brother-sisterhood. You have the same experiences and you just have each other to lean on, and I think it's just very important.
The biggest thing for me with the American Legion is we take care of vets. Camaraderie, the brotherhood, being around other riders who've got similar experiences. I think the sooner they get involved, the more they learn about the Legion and things that we do, the better off we can pass it down the line. The diversity in the ranks within the American Legion would be good, bringing new ideas instead of having the same old hats at the helm all the time. If you're a veteran out there and you're not a part of the Legion, we have a spot for you.
For those of you that have not heard Lewis's phone, He's being released from the hospital with a bruised knee and probably a torn ligament in his knee. But he's doing fine. The bike is a whole other story. It's going to need a lot of work. The good news is Lewis is fine. He's going home. We have our total, and we have our highest donor. Total contributions, $15,705. Now, that being said, last year, several $1,000s were mailed to the department. So we may have more coming in that we'll use for next year for Boys State. Our highest donor this year is not Morgantown. Upper Ohio Valley with $8,500.
Well, we are on our way back from West Virginia and a packed weekend of visiting lots of legions.
How many legions were we at?
We went to like 5 different legions.
There's a lot of veterans in those areas. It's pretty crazy. And a lot of generational veterans too. There's a lot of like advertisements for veterans on the highways, like on the state routes, in the cities.
Ed Walker was telling us that West Virginia had more veterans per capita than any other state. And then we saw it on the roads.
That ride was pretty cool. There is some serious riding territory in West Virginia that I can contest to. I wish I had my bike the whole time I was there.
Oh yeah. I hopped on the back of one for a little bit. I gotta say, it was fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was beautiful.
You were sitting on the back of one of the road guards.
Yes.
So they were speeding up to the front of the line after they blocked traffic so everyone could get through. They also mentioned that that's one way they're getting a lot of younger members is through the American Legion Riders. Those guys rode really well together too.
And it was all for a great cause to go to the boys' state and girls' state of West Virginia. And they raised over $15,000.
They did. And they traveled all around the state.
The ride ended at Wheeling, West Virginia, post number 1, the oldest post in the nation. And we sat down with John Powell, the commander.
He showed us the proof that they are the #1 post in the nation.
That's right.
They have paperwork that says that their first meeting and their post was established on a date that is sooner than the post that's in Washington, D.C.
They're a very unique post in the fact that they don't have a bar, they don't have a cantina or anything like that. They use the hall for events. They rent the hall out. They're really active in the community itself.
They're creating events too.
Yes.
They have events there as well. And I mean, the fact that they're in between a little league field and, right on the river says a lot. Or wait, it was a creek. It wasn't a river.
I think it should also be noted that all of the riders on that ride were all part of different chapters within West Virginia. It's great.
It was great. I have to say that was definitely a success.
It was a success.
Yes.
So if you're a veteran or a son of a veteran or a daughter of a veteran, mother, wife, and you would like to join the American Legion or the Sons or the Auxiliary, you should do it. And if you ride, you should join the American Legion Riders because they do a lot for charity. They do a lot to raise money.
They do a lot of writing, which
Yes.
is really the most important part.
We hope you enjoyed this episode on Wheeling, West Virginia and the American Legion Riders.
And make sure you check out our next episode of Veterans Post Tour. Bye, everybody. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Veterans Post Tour. Please give us a thumbs up and share.
In the description below, you will find a link to this post's website where you can learn more about them, their history, and their information.
You'll also find a link to the American Legion website where you can join, learn more about the Legion itself, and find a post near you.
Be sure to check out our other videos visiting different posts and hit subscribe so you can catch new ones as soon as they drop.
If there's a post that you think we should visit and highlight, please let us know in the comments.
We'll see you next time.